What's up and welcome to My Point of View. I am your fat and opinionated host, and it is now being reported that on the day Bryan Kohberger was arrested, a police airplane was circling around his house for hours, even hours after he was already detained. Oh, sorry, I know you're probably sitting there waiting for some bombshell to come of this news, probably some type of revelation that we could all go over, but that's about it, honestly. Sometimes I wonder, why do they even give us this info? What do you expect the general public to do with this piece of information? But you know what? It's Friday. I want to have some fun tonight. So let's go ahead and dive into this story. A police plane circled alleged Idaho killer Bryan Kohberger's home for hours. A Pennsylvania police plane circled the family home where accused quadruple unaliver Bryan Kohberger was arrested for hours, even after the bust, flight records show. A single-engine 2019 Textron Aviation 208B repeatedly rounded Kohberger's parents' home in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania from 4:02 a.m. to 6:22 a.m. last Friday, even after state police and the FBI had raided the home. Now, personally, I don't think there's much to really say about this. I'm sure they were just doing some type of surveillance. But then again, who knows? Maybe they were going to parachute out of their airplane. Paratroopers just coming down to the Kohberger's house. Imagine Bryan Kohberger. He's going outside at 4 o'clock in the morning to throw his trash in the neighbor's garbage. Like, that isn't suspect. He looks up and there's just paratroopers coming down on his home. Now, we know they used force when making entry. They didn't knock at the door like, hey, is Bryan Kohberger home? No, they straight up jumped through the windows and stuff. So I think that's funny because I think Bryan Kohberger, if he's guilty, he deserves that, right? But as far-fetched as it sounds, thinking of paratroopers dropping down from the sky, what if this was really just an unmanned drone? Wonder if they were waiting on the go-ahead to just drone strike the Kohberger residence. Now, of course, I'm joking about all of that stuff. And it sounds far-fetched now. But how long will things like that remain sounding far-fetched, if you will? 10 years from now, will it be far-fetched to think that our own government may drone strike its own citizens? I mean, look at the track record overseas. We drone strike the shit out of a lot of people. Sorry for cussing, but it's just the reality. And then you have to look at the way society is. Look at where our world is headed. In San Francisco right now and in other places around America, there are debates on whether police should be able to use robots that use lethal force against criminals. In places like China, drones, little, handheld drones, are flying around the city telling people how they need to live and when to go home, how to breathe, the free air that is all around them. Already in big cities in America, they have these robots that roam the streets with cameras, spying on the people. Or I guess you could say surveilling the people. But if you haven't noticed, or maybe you're too young to know this, life wasn't always this way. This surveillance state, if you will, life wasn't always this way. But things are getting dramatically worse. And sometimes I get scared because they will use situations like this to make you feel more comfortable with the type of things they do, if you will. They'll use a crisis. They'll use a situation that really triggers your emotion. And then you yourself will knowingly give away or give up your own rights because of some type of fear or because you feel some type of protection from the powers that be intruding into your life to supposedly make sure that you're safe. I don't want to go on too long of a tirade here. And those of you who know the type of stuff I'm talking about, you know. And those of you all who are oblivious to this type of stuff, it's going to sound like I'm speaking a foreign language to you. And honestly, I have to limit myself from the things I say and the things I talk about here on YouTube. All I'm saying is some of the jokes I made in this video won't sound that far-fetched in the future if we keep headed in the direction that we are going. But as far as the Bryan Kohberger stuff and the airplane circling his home, I know people are out there trying to make a big to-do of it. I don't think there's really much there to be talked about. I mean, is that a little much? Could we say that maybe that's a little much? Do you need a surveillance airplane flying over someone's home for 4 hours when you arrest them? I mean, judging by the type of person that we all think Bryan is, we're not going to care in this situation. But who knows? If, in the future, they start using these measures against people who aren't necessarily the type of person who we think Bryan is. But I guess that's a conversation for another day. For now, let me know what you think about this information down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and always remember, remain opinionated.